Well, hello there and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a review and first impressions on the Technic Colour Max Face and Eyes palette in Showstopper. The palette comes with 4 eyeshadows, a blush, highlighter and a bronzer. I have already done my foundation, my concealer and my powder and my eyebrows. So we're going to jump into the face products first. Just want to mention this is £6 I believe. Yeah, I think it's £6 and I got this from the Technic Cosmetics website. You can also get Technic on Fragrance Direct and it's so cheap on there. Because this is a new product, it wasn't on there, so I just got it on the Technic website. So yeah, it's super affordable palette and we're going to see how it performs. So we're just going to take a bronzer brush. We're going to bronze and contour with this, but yeah, we're going to use this brush. The pans are a little bit small, but we can make it work. Okay, so that is all the bronzer applied. There's actually no fallout, which I'm extremely... There's actually no fallout in the pan, which I'm extremely happy about. It doesn't actually bother me that much, but considering this is a really cheap palette and there's no fallout, I think that's pretty amazing. I did get a bit of patchiness. I did get a little bit of patchiness on my forehead, but I think I accidentally dipped into the eyeshadow just above here, which is again another problem with how the pans are so small. But apart from that, the colour is actually really nice. It suits pale skin really well. I think this is quite a versatile, versatile bronzer, and it will suit a lot of skin tones, so that was actually really nice. I'm going to move on to the highlighter next, which I'm super excited about because it is more of a champagne-y, silvery highlight. I'm very excited. So I'm just going to take my Zoeva Luxe Powder Fusion brush and we're just going to dip into there. Again, there's like, okay, maybe there's like a tiny bit of fallout, but if you just tap into it, hardly anything. Okay, that is all the highlighter applied. It is definitely a really pale colour, so if you've got pale skin this would be perfect for you. But if you have more like medium to dark skin, this will probably be a little bit too light for you. It's actually quite a smooth highlight. I like looking at the pan. I thought there was going to be really chunky glitters in there. I'll show you it up close. But I just thought that there was going to be really big like chunks of glitter in there, but considering I thought it was going to be like that, it's actually quite smooth and looks quite wet on the skin, which I'm really surprised at considering this is like a really cheap palette. So that is a really nice highlighter. And next we're going to move on to the blush, which is a tiny bit darker than what I'd usually go for, but as long as I use a light hand it should be alright. Okay, that has so much fallout in it, can you see? Oh my god, okay. That is extremely pigmented, but it has so much fallout on there. Okay. Might be the brush I'm using as well, but that was literally so much product. Okay, that is the blush applied. I literally put the tiniest amount on because it was literally so pigmented. I'm hoping you can see that, but that was literally so pigmented. It's a super pretty pink colour, perfect for like medium skin tones and maybe dark skin tones, but if you're pale, maybe just use like a really light hand because that is very pigmented, but it looks really nice actually. So I do actually like that blush as long as I use a light hand. So that's all the face products. So that is all the face products you use. They're actually so nice. Like, I'm really pleasantly surprised. That if that was the whole palette, and let alone that would be so worth the £6. Like, they are really nice products. The formulas are slightly different to each other, but they are really nice products. So just for them alone, this is definitely worth the £6. But now we're going to move on to the eyeshadows. Now the eyeshadows actually have numbers on them, and on the back, I'll show you, I hope you can see that, it has a tiny little diagram of like where it says you should put like the coloured eyeshadows, and it's saying that you should put this Thirst Gold shade here, which is slightly shimmery, on your brow bone in your inner corner. Then the second shade should go like either side, like in your crease either side. The third shade should go in the middle, and the fourth shade should go in your outer corner. So we're going to try that, but I have a feeling that that First Gold shade is going to be too dark for me, so I might replace that with the highlighter, but we'll see how we get on. So I'm going to take that number 2 shade and I'm just going to put that in my crease. Okay, there's a tiny little fallout. Okay, so that is the number 2 shade, the transition shade, put into my crease. That is actually really pigmented. I like that shade. It's a good transition shade. And we're just gonna now put the number 4 shade in my outer corner. Actually, let's do a halo eye. I'm going to put this in the inner corner as well. Just going to take a blending brush and blend out those edges. Just going to go back in that 4 and in that shade and just deepen it up a little bit. Okay, where's that brush? I'm just going to go in with that brush we used before and blend it all out. To be honest, them 2 shades actually blend pretty much to the same colour. Just number 4 is just a tiny bit darker. It's not really, they're not really too different from each other, but yeah, they're not too bad. It's not too bad. And now we're gonna go in with that shade 3. I don't know though, do I? No, I'm gonna go in with shade 3 and put that in the middle. I need a flat brush. Right, I'm going to go in with dry first to see how well it does. It's like sticking to where I apply it. So I'm going to put some setting spray on it and apply it over again. Okay, that is that shimmer shade put on the lids. When I used it first dry, it went a bit patchy and a bit powdery, but when I went in with a setting spray over the top, it definitely blended in a lot better. And then when I went on with the second eye straight away with the setting powder, it went on a lot smoother. So if you're going to use Technic eyeshadows, I'd probably, and like use the shimmer shades, I would probably use a setting spray straight away rather than try using it dry, because it just goes all powdery and not very nice. That's a bit too dark for my liking, so I'm actually going to go in with that gold shade and go over the top just to brighten it up a little bit more. That gold shade is so much better. I think because it's not as chunky as the other shade, it goes on a lot smoother and it looked a lot more blinding than what the other shade did. So that gold shadow is really, really nice. I'm just going to do my lower lash line with a combination of the transition shade and the darker shade put in the outer corner, and I'll be right back. Right, so I'm back. I've just applied my lower lash line eyeshadow, mascara, and I've done some lipstick just to finish off the look. And I'm just going to talk to you about my final thoughts on this palette. I'm actually super impressed. Like, the face products, I feel like with drugstore face products you can't go wrong. Like, with stuff like bronzers and blushes and highlights, you can get really good drugstore like face products, and these are certainly really nice. Obviously I spoke about them when I was applying them, but just to round it up, the bronzer is a super nice light bronzer. It's not actually that light, it probably will look good on a lot of skin tones, and it blends out really easily, super nice. The highlight, as you can see, is pretty blinding. It looks wet on the skin. You can't see it when I look forward. It's a really nice highlighter, especially for pale skin. The blush, there was a lot of fallout. Oh, there was not really any fallout with these two, but with this blush there was a lot of fallout. But if you use a tiny bit of product when applying, it will look really nice, and that will suit a lot of skin tones. So overall, the face products for me were completely worth the £6. Like, if these three were just in a palette and it cost £6, would be completely worth the money. The eyeshadows were okay. This third shade here, which is like a glittery shimmer shade, it was quite a chunky glitter. If you apply it wet, it will go on okay, but there was a tiny little bit of fallout when I was applying it, and to be honest, it applied a little bit patchy. So the chunky glitter, like shimmery shades, not my favourite formula. The two matte shades, shade 2 and 4, were extremely pigmented. They blended out so easily. They're so cheap, but they're so good. Like, they just blended out so nice, so pigmented, really easy to work with eyeshadows. So those two are really, really nice. And lastly, this gold shade here, probably the best shimmery formula. This one's a bit more chunky, this one's a lot more smooth, and when applied with a setting spray, it goes on super nice. This eye looks a bit more patchy because where I had the other shade, they both look a little bit patchy because of the shades underneath, but actually on top they look really smooth. But overall, the eyeshadows they're okay, they're really good, but not my favourite formula. So do I think that this palette is really good? Yes, I do. If you're on a budget and you travel a lot, or you would like a palette for travelling, this has pretty much a lot of the products you'll need when you go travelling. Completely. I'm so glad I bought this. I'm going to definitely take this when travelling because it is so convenient. If you want to do a quick halo eye or spotlight eye, whatever you like to call it, which I do quite a lot, this is definitely a good selection. It literally takes you 3 eyeshadows and you're done, and it looks really nice. So this is such a good palette. I completely recommend it, especially if you're on the hunt for a travel palette. This has 3 of your face products in it and your eyeshadow look, so to me that is such a good product. Let me know down below if you've tried this, because for some reason I don't actually hear a lot of YouTubers talk about Technic cosmetics. I don't know if it's because it's a super cheap brand, but there's so many other super cheap brands and people use them, so I'm actually really impressed with that palette. So let me know down below if you have used this as well, and if you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe down and subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.